Lesson 3.2, Complex Numbers. How do you define and use the imaginary unit I? You had 3 problems for independent practice. Let's go ahead and take a look at those. Problem number 16. We're supposed to multiply the numbers together. So I have negative 2 times 4 times a negative 9. And then we're supposed to multiply the i's together. Negative 4 times 2 times a negative 9 is a positive 72. If you see 3 i's, you have I to the third power. So 72 being multiplied by, what did we say I to the third power was? We said that was a negative I. 72 times a negative I gives me a negative 72I. Number 18. This entire quantity of I times the square root of 3 is raised to the second power, which means we have 2 of those. And this entire quantity of negative 8I is also raised to the second power, meaning we also have 2 of those. Multiplying all our numbers together, we have the square root of 3 times 3 times a negative 8 times a negative 8, and there were 4 i's. The 3's paired and got to escape, so this is a 3. Negative 8 times a negative 8 is a positive 64. 4 of the i's together gives me I to the fourth. 3 times 64 is 192. I to the fourth we said was 1. 192 times 1 is 192. I have the square root of negative 24. Well, I can't have a negative, so I have to separate the negative 1 from the 24. Being multiplied by the square root of negative 3, I need to separate the negative 1 from the 3. Being multiplied by the square root of negative 2, I need to separate the 1 from the 2. The square root of negative 1 is I. Square root of 24 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. Square root of negative 1 is I. Square root of 3 does not prime factorize, it's a 3. Square root of negative 1 is an I. Square root of 2 is a square root of 2. 1, 2, 3, I see 3 i's, so I have I to the third. All of the numbers can be put in the same square root, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4 2's, and I see 2 3's. I to the third power, we said that was a negative I. If they pair up, they escape, so a pair of 2's, and a pair of 3's. So we have a pair of 2's, and a pair of 3's. Negative I times 2 times 2 times 3 gives me a negative 12I.